Hi classmates, hi teacher Marta. I'm Karjayr, and here we have a nice guy. Well, your name is Mr. Kurt Tonemaker. Okay, so I have some questions from you.
Yes.
And so the first question is, what got you into farming?
My grandfather started farming, and he was an extension agent for WSU, Washington State University, and he started the farm we have now in 1962. So I've been farming it for 50 years now.
So you follow what he did.
Well, yes.
So what makes you enjoy farming?
Well, you actually get to touch what you're growing. Like a lot of people work in an office never actually touch anything physically. Well, farming, it's all about working outside and physically touching the product.
That's interesting. And my third question is about the, do you rather to have local or organic? Which one?
Well, ours is both, but it's nice to support locally from the standpoint that you're helping your own economy, right? When you buy something from someone that grows it locally, they spend the money that you pay them on stuff locally, and Washington does better. Organic is number two, would be the best part of it from the standpoint that it's maybe better for you and better for the environment. But if we're not buying something from Chile, then they don't have to truck it all the way up here, and there's a lot of pollution to get there. So.
You have a very good point. So so how do you know? Do you know government can support farmers, and do you know any way that government can support the farmers?
Well, there's a lot of programs like they have small farm grants, and they have incentives. Like for instance, they do these check coupons, which they hand out to the food banks, and like the city of Seattle and all these different agencies have given, when people use their food bank money, their EBT cards, they give them these extra dollars. They say, here, this is extra money to go out and buy fresh fruits and vegetables. It's only for fruit and vegetables.
Interesting.
So there's a couple different ways the government helps.
So here is your products, right?
Yeah, and apples and all that over there.
Do you have any idea why organic foods are expensive?
It's a lot more difficult to grow them, first of all, because you're using less chemicals. Chemicals are easy, and like for instance fertilizer, you put chemical fertilizer in your lawn and 2 weeks later it's nice and green. When you use organic composted chicken manure, it takes a while for the manure to cook until it's composted. You put it in the field, it takes a year for that nutrients to get from the compost into the soil. So it costs some money. First you have to disc the soil, lay it, and disc it again, and you have to use a lot of manual labor versus using a lot of a chemical to do something. Like you have to manually thin the apples versus putting a chemical that makes the apples drop off. And you have to use a lot more times because you have to be really specific. Like you have to catch insects when they're in their certain stages. Whereas if you're using, like, say, a really toxic chemical, you can put it on one time and kill everything, which is bad because then you kill all the good, like ladybugs and lacewing flies and wasps that kill other bugs. So, by being organic, it costs you to do a lot more involved. You drive a lot more, you spend a lot more time working with the fruit versus just spraying something and walking away.
Okay, so you believe that if government support you can sell it cheaper?
Well, cheaper maybe not be as much, but you can actually afford to do it, and you can afford to get it because consumers can buy it. Cheaper comes from a tend to drop water, a larger economy of scale. The larger your farm is, the more efficient it can be. So that's the problem with a lot of organic farms. They're very small, and so less efficient, so the prices are more expensive. If you have a lot of land and you buy equipment, then you can spread the cost over a lot of different things. If you have a small piece of farm, and you still have to buy the same equipment. That piece of equipment is much more expensive per acre.
So it was very useful information. Time to shop.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Ready?